like covering their mouths. They don't want to give away their comms.
Yep.
It's actually a good idea, you know.
And here we go. Let's see if Akali or Galio or any of the fun champions get through, Cassiopeia, whatnot. As first ban yet to be selected yet. And, okay, well, a blue side Camille ban is never making me feel comfortable. When you're the blue team and you want to ban Camille, I think that there is a problem.
I mean, Hanwha Life banned it twice, and I think it's just against On Fleek. Maybe they just don't want to play it, and they think that SANDBOX would pick it up real quick, because On Fleek, I mean, he might be the best Camille player that we have here in the LCK. We need more time to check it out, but man, is he clean on that pick.
And Cassiopeia banned away by SANDBOX right away, and now it's passed back over to Hanwha Life, and very late ban there. Maybe they're debating how they want to approach this pick ban very heavily amongst themselves. Not quite sure. 1 second remaining, they ban the Thresh. SANDBOX responds with Lissandra. And now, what is Hanwha going to ban here? I guess it's actually a little bit difficult to predict.
I mean, after these two bans, it could be Annie for all we know.
Could be.
Yeah.
You want to have a greater chance at winning. That would be a wise choice.
It's a good ban, for sure.
2 seconds again. Akali banned away. And maybe they're predicting or anticipating that SANDBOX is going to ban Galio, and maybe Hanwha doesn't want to play Akali. So, just getting that out of the way.
Kind of feels like Tempt or So-On are going to be playing Urgot tonight. Who's the unlucky solo laner? That's my question.
Aatrox banned away. And so you're looking at it, Lucian is still alive, Urgot still alive, Galio still alive. If you're going to pick Galio, you have to be extremely confident. Your side laners have to be very proactive. You need a priority jungler.
Nope,
instead,
Urgot.
It is Urgot. Very strong buy-in pick, able to be flexed mid and top lane. Very powerful in so many matchups.
Urgot's here in every game. Yes, it is 100% pick or ban. And yes, it is 20 and 10, as it wins a lot, guys. It had a pretty insane win ratio prior to it taking some losses recently, and now it's at, you know, a cool 67% win ratio.
And there is the Lucian locked in for Ghost. Wonder what their approach is going to be to the second pick. Because what can end up happening is if you don't get your top laner in the first rotation, Hanwha could just try to pinch top lane and then have freedom. Now, with the Galio picked as early as it is, I don't think that we're going to see any top or support Galios. Could end up seeing Vayne.
I like that. How about a Tom Kench to protect her?
Thomas Kench. By the way, if you're listening to this right now, you should pick up the Coin Emperor Tom Kench. Fantastic skin.
Yeah, it's a good one. Have to agree.
So, Tom Kench locked in for Hanwha Life, Esports, and Olaf being hovered. 10 seconds remaining almost. And if they end up locking this in, this is kind of worrisome. They have a lot of heavy engage. Tom Kench has a little bit of anti-synergy with this. Not the most, but SANDBOX can definitely recalibrate their draft now to accommodate to how Hanwha is trying to throw them this ball.
Yeah. Tom Kench in general good at map plays. We saw Griffin Lahens using that quite well the other day when he was playing him. And how about a Lee Sin for On Fleek? He's looking to get aggressive in this one.
And now we're moving into the second ban phase here. Hanwha, lots of heavy engage, and, well, SANDBOX bans away Ashe. That's an engage for an ADC. But Hanwha Life is going to need some sort of magic damage on their team. Maybe they could do something like what we saw earlier where you bring in the Azir against the Galio. That is one of the historic answers to the match, or to the champion. Aurelia now being banned away. Really interesting to me. Aurelia, I don't think is a champion that you're afraid of when you have Urgot, Olaf, and Tom Kench. I'm not quite sure what that ban is all about. SANDBOX now banning away the Victor. Probably end up just reserving the counter pick for Summit up there in top lane. Let him have his way with Sohan.
Yeah.
Now you're Hanwha Life, and it's really difficult to ban here. Interesting that no support champions are being banned away. I think that SANDBOX, I mean, if you're looking at this, you can just go Soraka and then laugh at Olaf, abuse Tahm Kench in laning phase. Soraka is so strong. Instead, they're going to elect for the Rakan.
If it were BBQ, you'd be playing Soraka.
Oh, that's Soraka.
Sure. It happened in Kespa Cup. I was there.
You were.
I saw it live. I was talking about it too. Thinking about Ezreal.
Soraka is so powerful in this situation. But Hanwha Life now hovering the Ezreal, and even though he does deal some magic damage, it's not quite enough. They do really need a heavy hitter, even though Olaf is going to deal some true damage. Maybe we will be accompanied here by an Azir.
Feels that way. Probably something
Zoe,
AP in the mid lane.
Zoe's an option. I don't think that she's... Alright.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. You're here.
Like,
Lesnek has returned.
And now your SANDBOX, you know that you're going up against Urgot in top lane. You could just pick Sion. You do have enough magic damage inside of the Galio. Rakan's going to do a little bit, but the enemy team comp, I mean, they're not that well suited anyway. Sion can get into the backline. He would probably get kited a little bit, but there's so much damage threat. But instead, oh, I like this.
Darius is entering the Rift for Summit.
Is it going to be Teleport or Ghost on Darius? That's something that I'm very curious about. Right now, he does have the Teleport spell, so we'll wait and see if it's changed to Ghost. These team comps are definitely interesting. Now, if Darius gets ahead, the game sort of ends.
I mean, isn't that the case a lot of the time when you're going up against a Darius?
Well, Hanwha Life does not have a lot of tools to try to hold him off. I mean, Ezreal, I guess if he does get the Iceborne Gauntlet, he can be a little bit sticky, or he can... He's able to be slippery, not sticky.
Yeah.
But that would be realistically the only hope. So we're about to head into the game here. We'll talk about what the team compositions want to do. Urgot, Olaf, Zoe, Ezreal, and Tahm Kench. Tahm going to be used primarily to protect the Zoe in the Ezreal. Zoe and Ezreal are going to try to poke down the enemy team composition. Olaf will act as a mid-range peeler, and Urgot as an executioner with his ultimate after Zoe and Ezreal successfully poke down the enemy team. Very mid-rangey type of team composition that spikes around 3 and 4 items and then begins to tipper and fall off, while heavily relying on Zoe. On the flip side, we have Darius, Lee Sin, Galio, Lucian, and Rakan. This wants to take your lunch money. At the first item, second item, Galio wants to be places. Lee Sin is coming out of Bird Box, all right?
Oh,
Lee Sin's trying to find the sanctuary right there.
How can he steal your lunch if he can't see?
Not quite
Good question.
sure. But this team composition is trying to accelerate the Darius and converting that with Galio into massive power plays. If Lucian gets ahead early off the back of Lee Sin dives, coupled by the Darius, it's all going to be good.
Wow. SANDBOX, huge cheer here in the studio. This team is very quickly bringing in the fans onto their side. It's no secret, guys. Winning teams bring fans because they win a lot and provide very entertaining games. And, well, all these new Challenger teams coming up. Even our PD was making a joke. He's like, yeah, you know, so Challengers Korea is the strongest league in the world. I'm like, well, you forgot about, you know, China and NA and EU that placed first. Well, I guess it was EU before NA.
Why'd you mention
first,
one
second, third
wildcard region?
You know, I just felt like I'd throw it in there. Yeah, throw it a bone. But, yeah, I mean, Challengers seem strong.
I don't like that Darius. You know what? Actually, I kind of do like it. He's very thin.
Take a look at this. Axe is in. They're going to be apprehended, but Summit's in a really awkward spot here. Has to flash. But here comes Temps. They want to burst him down, but the rest is SANDBOX trying to come in. Here's Key, by the way, from the bottom side. First blood goes to Olaf on the side of Hanwha Life.
That was really interesting. It actually felt like he could have flashed the wall, especially given that he had heal, and he could have gotten the flash out of Galio, but I think that at that point, he's thinking, okay, well then Lucian and Rakan can have a lot of kill pressure. Okay, well, NALCS is coming early.
Here we go. You're almost dead, my good sir. You're going to have to flash the wall as they stopped the red buff. That's really good stuff right there.
Lucian on that Olaf. Okay, well. He's going to go straight to the golems. And that is actually going to be a very nice first clear, because then he gets the first golem camp out of the way. The rubber band camp that's going to respawn from it is going to be super valuable, and it's going to let him path up to topside right around when Darius could ideally be looking for a kill. So the timing should add up for that. Olaf should transition this into a pure full clear, so not to fall behind. And then in doing so, he ends up in the bottom lane, able to counter or match gank Lee Sin if he would appear down there, but also to pressure relief against the Lucian and Rakan.
You mentioned, would it be Ghost or Teleport? The Teleport was taken here by Darius. Ends up being a really good choice to get him back to lane on time, at least, after the shenanigans we had early on in this game. So I suppose he's happy about that feel.
One of the things that could definitely be happy about so far is that, for the most part, SANDBOX didn't fall as far behind as I feel they could have early on.
Yeah.
And this is a very fun lane. I'm sure I and everyone watching this is very excited right now.
Yes, I can feel it in my toes. It's enthralling. It's amazing.
So that Darius skin, the broad shoulders and how lean he is, it reminds me of Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
What?
Anyway, we have a gank down in the bottom lane as Ghost might be in a little trouble, but no, nice knock up here by Joker. As now OnFleek might have something to say about that. He's going to turn on to Mujin, but he's just going to be devoured up. He also has his flash, so they're not going to follow up onto that gank as there you go, he gets out.
And so a little bit of a crisis averted right there, as Galio now returning into mid lane. OnFleek picks up that Scuttle Crab. And one of the things here is that OnFleek is looking to try to get permanent pressure and some sort of knowledge or intel on the Olaf, but in doing so, Mujin on that Olaf is actually getting ahead and clears, although Lee Sin does have the Golem camp, which is going to be respawning soon at the top.
Take a look at mid lane once again. Looks like the gold slightly in favor of the Zoe, who did pick up a assist on the kill a little bit early on. And Dev very respectful of the Zoe, I'd say, in the mid lane. Even under turret, he was, giving up a couple of CS just to make sure he didn't get poked down too hard. Did go for the Dark Seal first. You don't see that all the time, but does mean he'll have a little bit less sustain compared to the Corrupt seeing pot start.
And Galio, Dove still has a reasonable amount of mana in the lane. He doesn't have that teleport available, so he does have to be a little bit cautious. Tempt, however, his pressure is going to have to come to an end quite soon as he's recalling now. So it's actually quite good for SANDBOX and mid.
Yeah, both of them actually recalling. Just a couple items picked up here for both of them. Excited to see if Summit can pop off on the Darius. Bit of a unfortunate start to the game getting caught, but it was a really nice play there by Mujin and so on to get them on the right track.
And, I mean, I'm waiting to see what is the purpose of the Darius pick. I know he had a rough start. He got to a lane. He didn't really get to dictate the pace of it straight from the get-go. But wondering what they really want to achieve with it here. Especially because we didn't see anything cheesy like the Ghost come out of it.
Well, it was last pick. Consider some of the other picks they could have gone for. You were thinking maybe the Scion. Vlad was available again if they really wanted to go into that kind of style. But we did have a lot of bans up on the top side too. the, you know, Lissandra, Kali, Camila can all kind of be flexed up there, but mainly Aatrox, Aurelia, Jace, Victor. Lots of targets up there, so maybe just running out of stuff, and Summit thought it was the right play. We hear a lot in interviews where players are like, yeah, I called for it and I wanted to do this, but also sometimes where the coach is like, no, I think you should play this. So curious to see if he does pick up the MVP. What was the idea behind it?
Definitely would be interested to hear about that. As right now at 7 minutes, I mean, the game is really not having anything happen, but that should change soon. Galio is level 6, has his ultimate available, although Lee Sin did just recall, so even though Lucian is returning down into the bottom lane, I don't think that we're going to see any big playmaking potential.
Olaf, Mugen in the enemy jungle, actually trying to get a scout onto On Fleek. Uses a little bit early, actually, as On Fleek seems to be heading towards the top side.
For a lane gank. Oh, I think he might get it.
Oh boy, Soan might be in a little bit of trouble here. Mazerosh was placed, and no, they're just not even going to go for it. Besides that, with the Ignite in the trade with the Unsealed Spellbook, they'll let it go. Down in the bottom lane, though, on to Key. Forced to use that heal here. Culling comes in, and even Key gets really low, as once again, Ghost trying to dominate a lane with this Lucian.
Absolutely eviscerated the health pool of Key on that Tahm Kench, and Lucian and friends are going to have priority again.
Oh, looking for a play here as Dove is like, oh, hello, Olaf. Has to flash that axe.
E-direction not quite right, but that's all right. Dove does have the teleport available and his ultimate. Ezreal doesn't have teleport, and now Lee Sin's pathing to the right-hand side of the map. This is almost perfect timing. If Galio teleported back into mid lane, got immediate priority, and Lee beeline straight down into bottom, they could have just ignored the turret and Galio ulted and said, good luck, have fun. But that's not going to be the case, so a little bit of a missed opportunity right there.
Not thinking 7 steps ahead. Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. It was the blue handoff timing for Zoe, so it could have definitely been abused, but nonetheless, they are going to convert the bottom priority into the capture of this Ocean Drake at 9 minutes, so not the worst capture. 9 minutes is still kind of early. It's not 10 like I mentioned in one of the previous games, but laning phase is still reasonably healthy.
Trying to go for the steal there was Songyun. Actually, Arcane shifts forward to tell him to get out of here. But they were actually on vision the whole time. They put down a control ward, but it didn't actually spot the one ward from the side of Hanwha. As at the end of the day, they do pick up the Ocean Drake. Next one will be Mountain. We'll see if SANDBOX can get back on the Mountain Drake hype train that they were on in Game 1.
Mountain, an extremely important dragon for both team comps. Obviously, the Zoe and Ezreal want access to it to siege and delete turrets later on into the game, but SANDBOX also want it for Baron potential, just like we saw in game number 1. They could easily utilize it in a very similar fashion.
Tempt, definitely a player I am pretty excited about, as he was always quite good. He was one of the players for that BBQ lineup that couldn't find too much success, but it definitely felt like a lot of the times he was trying so hard to carry but couldn't quite do it. Definitely has the mechanics, and a lot of pros are quoted as saying that he is quite a good player, especially in solo queue. So got to give him respect. He gets a chance to play here once again in Hanwha.
A lot of murmurs of him being a scrim god. Didn't always quite pan out or end up that way on stage.
Yeah. Ends up having to flash as he gets cast or cursed by us. Just a nice gank by On Fleek. Good timing to make him get in there. Got to be real careful up against the Lee Sin.
Now SANDBOX going to be able to pick up this Scuttle Crab.
3-on-2. They don't have the Zoe because she had to back, so.
Interesting thing here would be that you know that you just cleared out vision around the Scuttle Crab, and that there's likely not anything around there. It would be very cute to see On Fleek try to cheese it after this. but a ward was placed down in front of it.
Not going to go for the 10-minute Rift Herald that we've been seeing a couple of times here tonight. Some of these teams are definitely using that strategy with the new turret plating that we do have in recent times here in League of Legends.
So far this game is very even. I mean, there's a 1.1k gold deficit, but for the most part, you look at the CS scores across the board, and everything for the most part is really even. I assume most of that gold is obviously inside of the kill. You have a plate in mid, Ezreal's Klepto.
Slowly but surely closing the gap, or expanding the gap, I suppose, in this case. And, yeah, not too much going on in this game. Not too much action outside of the one kill. See if they can get on top of Summit, though, as Exhaust is here for Sowan. The Stain is not going to miss. A little bit short on that one, but here's Muujin. Getting into position, lands the axe, and Summit has to flash the second one. Doesn't want to be kited for days, and at least he will survive as, okay, here's On Fleek. No flash on attempt. Taunt is going to go wide, and Dove didn't have his flash. So it doesn't matter. They do take him down in the end anyway as On Fleek. He's on point tonight.
Very excellent gank right there, able to pick that up. Didn't need Dove's flash, didn't even have it available, so really good tempo swing here in mid. Take a look at that replay, just goes right over, hits him with a kick. Temp no way out, doesn't have flash available. Galio Q able to just put an end to that. And now with that tempo relief, we're still waiting to see Galio do something with his ultimate.
Ghost just piloting this Lucian too. I love when he gets onto this pick and just makes the lane his. Unfortunately, not really making any kind of big CS gap or gigantic lead down there, but did pick up his Blade of the Rune King and is looking to begin carrying. Also has taken out one plate on the bottom turret, so not half bad.
And now the Mountain Drake is coming up in 15 seconds or so. Ezreal does have his Iceborne Gauntlet, but you can see that Ghost maintaining permanent priority. Lee Sin darting straight down to that mountain. It's going to come at the cost of Hanwha getting the Rift Herald.
Well,
they know about it now.
Okay, yeah, they have the vision, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it. As you mentioned, On Fleek bottom side will just have to take the Mountain Drake. But, you know, this Rift Herald not going to be as valuable as some of the other ones we've seen as the turret plating is down. It was taken a little bit later than most of the ones we've been seeing nowadays. So at the end of the day, if it only gets a little charge down and they clear it and it doesn't take down a turret, I kind of favor that Mountain Drake. It's not half bad here for SANDBOX.
Really good Dragon. It is. It's going to help them do a play like we saw in game number 1, where if you don't have the Mountain and that extra damage to the Baron that it ends up giving you, Zoe and Ezreal, from the safety of their blue side jungle, they can just endlessly poke you while you're sitting inside of the river, and it becomes so difficult to break a blue side phalanx in that spot.
Fans are liking Songyun here as he makes Joker pay for standing in the front. Now the Rakan doesn't have any health, so he needs to go home. Sad Rakan here.
Nice cues by Songyun. And now finally they're pushing back at Ghost and Joker. Joker running back down into the bottom lane. Still waiting for some sort of play or setup with On Fleek and Dove on this Galio.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that you pick up the Galio, but then you never really try to force any plays with that pick. Instead, they're going to have to deal with this Rift Herald as it is in the mid lane. Looking to get a big charge here, and the Sleepy Trouble Bubble has landed, but Galio should be just fine. TP. Kind of interesting here as Summit is going to get exhausted too. Will go down. Lucian, meanwhile, Ghost in the bottom lane takes out his own turret, so they trade 1 for 1 in the end.
the trade is not half bad. Zoe's turret is still extremely healthy, though. You can see pings going down onto it right now. I think that they want to try to use this timing to demand that they stay and not recall and make use of the gold that they all just acquired. Really good that Ghost was able to get that bottom tier 1 turret, because the bottom tier 1 turret for SANDBOX is still so healthy. You're going to have to really go out of your way to get it. It's not a comfortable feeling for Hanwha.
It's going to take quite a while. And Ghost, with some of the freedom he had down on the bottom side during the Rift Herald play, has been able to finally build a gap in the CS, about 15 ahead after he clears this wave, so he's feeling good. Getting that Lucian fed, as is the way. Mugen looking for a play up in the top side, actually, up against Summit. He's been kind of picking on this Darius so far.
And it looks like Darius doesn't have any intention of walking up in the lane. Instead, he's just going to go over and he's going to eat his jungler's golems, which is completely fine. Unfleek's not going to be on that side of the map for the foreseeable future, and so he's actually doing him a favor. It looks like Unfleek, though, will go to... What was that? Defense? I think he's angry. I don't know.
Yeah. So, will we actually have the late redemption here for Olaf? Has the Forbidden Idol. Yesterday, with Tarzan, we were seeing the skip on the Cinderhulk into rushing the redemption to help out in the early skirmishes, but perhaps because the game has been so slow. Looking for Tempt now as well. You're going to be kicked out of the circle. He wants the kill big time now. He's going to flash away, but still goes down. Dove is going to be slept for the entire time. A real sad Galio, but at least the kill comes into effect.
That's a really big kill right now as well, because with Zoe missing, it demands that Songyun and Key stick around in mid, and this is letting Ghost potentially get some pressure down on that bottom tier 2, and now with Ezreal and friends being drawn down there, they're now dragging the top laner to mid lane. And this is causing a chain effect where Summit is now getting a lot of value up in top lane. And it just looks like SANDBOX is starting to slowly dissect them across the map. Wow,
I'm a little bit sad that we jinxed. But, you know, in all seriousness, Onflake is just having a really good game on the Lee Sin. Makes another play. Sneaks into the brush, perfectly out of vision. Avoids Mugen. He's a real ninja. It actually happens. Says, I don't need you, Galio. I'm going to kill him myself.
Not as clean as it could have been. Not on the same page there, but nonetheless ended up picking up the kill onto Zoe. And then Mugen and Key not able to really do anything with the follow-up there. So, as we approach the 20-minute mark, despite being up a turret and up a kill, they're still down in gold, but they have the Mountain Drake available. So Baron is going to be a very real, legitimate threat around the 23, 24-minute mark.
Definitely will be. Songyun has some potential to carry this one, as Zoe here, Tempt, unfortunately, hasn't had much of a good early game. I like the donation of the ward as well. Trying to just get all the good feels here for Ghost. Say, hey, here, have a control ward. Yeah, Songyun has carried in the past, and this time he is on the Ezreal. He's very good at Ezreal. See his accuracy already in the laning phase with his Qs is quite spectacular.
Songyun on the Ezreal is going to be one of the main hopes this game. Ezreal's going to have a lot of work cut out for him.
Stolen.
With Zoe especially being a little bit behind, and yep. Ghost now rotating into the middle lane. Main focus should be that mid-tier 1 turret.
See if they can actually break it down, because right now, Songyun and Key are being the bodyguards of the turret. Saying, nope, not yet. Ghost, very scary now. He's got really great CS per minute, above 10, and also has a red buff that he did steal, so you're going to have a hard time actually taking out this Lucian.
No, I mean, I wouldn't be so surprised to just see the game enter into a little bit of a lull state where nothing happens for a short period of time. Zoe should be content to just sit back for a little while. Ezreal as well. We want to get the boots up next. Zoe wants to probably get her second core item. Olaf still waiting on the redemption. There's just a lot going on for Hanwha Life in terms of itemization. And so with no neutral on the map that realistically can be taken, there's no reason to try to secure vision or fight.
Can definitely see that Hanwha Life, they're trying to recreate a little bit of what they were trying to do in game number 1. Tried and failed, I should say. It was a pretty quick one, trying to scale on up. But this time around, especially with Ezreal, they can play it safe. Just try to back away and not take any fights. Culling comes in, again, just trying to harass them down and take out this tier 1 turret. That's the dream. Here goes on Fleek. He's actually going to go straight into an Olaf, which can be risky at times. Ghost himself, and uh-oh, Trouble Bubble is going to land a little bit short as... Not sure what's going on with him today, but he's not having the best game here in game number 2.
Galio got a lot of pressure up in top lane. Looks like him and Rakan now are going to recall. And right now, I mean, Tempt, he's not getting any of this gold really allocated into him. And he can't really go anywhere else. I guess he's going to go into top lane now. He wants to pick up that wave that's crashing. But the unfortunate thing here is now this is going to cause 3 waves to go back into SANDBOX. And unless Galio just immediately runs top lane, that's not going to change, which means that Hanwha Life Esports is not getting access to a lane. And that's just so problematic when one of your primary main carries is not getting gold, they're behind, they're gimped, and it puts all the pressure onto Ezreal. Just look at Zoe, she can't go up top.
Yeah. That's why I was saying it's pretty much got to be the Songyun show. He essentially has to pop off for Hanwha Life. Otherwise, can't see them having too much success. But again, he's done it before. So I'm confident that he will at least have a good game here on the Ezreal. He's doing pretty well so far. Again, Ghost definitely showing up himself and trying to say that he is the better AD carry in this series. Has proven that so far. Picked up MVP in game number 1.
Now they are posturing for vision around the Baron. This is that 24-minute mark I mentioned just a few moments ago. They have the items getting completed. They have that Mountain Drake. They're going to raise the mid-tier 1 turret. It's a really big vision victory.
On the right side was thinking about it, and Tempt, he used his real flash to get out of that as well. That little corner, the Wolves corner, you can get caught so many times, especially in solo queue. But Tempt here also getting caught out. SANDBOX now slowly gaining the lead. They've been behind for most of it in terms of gold. Compositions, of course, are going to play a big role in determining who does win the game, but at least SANDBOX can be happy to take the gold lead.
And we take a look at the gold lead, and it just for the first time went back into SANDBOX's favor on the backs of 2 turrets. Not even that big, and I mean that's just a testament to how much gold is being gained via the Tahm Kench, the Ezreal Kleptomancy. Really, really good.
Nice steal there by Tahm Kench. They get a bunch of vision around the Baron now, so they don't have to be as careful about SANDBOX starting that up with their Mountain. Although, I spoke too soon, as Caster Curse again, SANDBOX just going to try to 2-man it here.
I love it. The Scuttle Crab is giving them false security.
Yeah.
And so they have no idea that this is happening. Now they're going to get an idea.
Yeah, now it's low enough they can just rotate on over, should be free.
That is way too late. Doesn't even matter. And now with the Baron, it is so difficult. If you are a primarily a poke-based comp, which Hanwha Life is with the Zoe and the Ezreal, the worst thing in the world is trying to defend against Baron sieges.
It's very, very true. And, man, SANDBOX once again impressing tonight. On fleek, early game Lee Sin, making those big ganks count and taking Zoe out of the game for quite a while, and then 2-manning the Baron. Just that Alpha Brain meme coming back once again.
Just look at the level difference between champions. Lee Sin 3-level lead, 2-level gap in mid lane. 1 level and 80 carry. Although I guess Key has a level lead over Joker, but I guess that, you know, it doesn't really matter that much. And now to accompany the Baron buff is double Ocean Drake. This siege is going to be never ending.
Yeah. They're having a fun time. I say that, but, you know, there only has been 3 kills in the game. Feels like 8.1 was all over again. Just in this game, though. Recent meta has been a lot faster. Summit is looking for a guy who is 4 levels below him. It doesn't matter if he can run away because he's just going to get stomped by Summit, who puts his axe to the head of Mugen and says, "Get out of here."
I didn't think that R was going to kill, but
he's a big boy.
He just popped. Oh, man.
That's what happens when you're 4 levels above and you have just been farming the entire game.
I mean, I don't think Glenn knew that was coming either, but regardless now, push is happening in top and mid. And you can just see Hanwha's just forced to stand by and watch. Their champions aren't equipped to deal with wave clear. They can't engage into the enemy team composition because they're supposed to whittle you down. They're supposed to poke you, and that doesn't matter when you have 2 Ocean Drakes and a Baron buff.
Well, they did get the sleep on a Joker, so he's going to die. You see Mugen trying to get the steal there with the redemption. But here we go, big fight, trying to force the 5v3. But the stopwatch comes in for Summit, and they're going to turn it around. The dunk is denied by the Devour. Nice little timing there by that Tom Kent. Keeping him alive, and now Dove getting kited once again. Nice paddle start on the backside, and now SANDBOX decide we have to go home. We're not going to push the envelope here. Actually, both inhibitors are still alive.
Both inhibs are still alive, and this is a great breathing opportunity for Hanwha Life. This is a perfect opportunity to catch back up in experience. SANDBOX is losing all the waves because of the super minions. We'll take a look at this one more time. Joker, that's a really impressive. All right, I mean, that needs to be turned into a statue.
Yeah.
And he ends up going down, and then because of this, they're able to take a 5 versus 4. Summit gets caught right in the middle. Darius ultimate ends up being denied. OnFleek goes in, and Galio, not wanting to push the issue any further, ends up backing up, and Songyun also decides that he doesn't want to push it any further.
I just love that Key. He waits for the animation to start for Summit's ult, and then he goes for the Devour, totally denies it. Could have turned into a very one-sided fight if the Darius got going, and now he's got a Guardian Angel, and he doesn't really seem to care about anything. Reaction comes in, and a pause comes in too, as just a little gift to all of us who are watching. We'll have to see what the problem is. Looks like it is Ghost's computer. Maybe another mouse or client issue. We'll have to wait and see.
You know what's an excellent gift for a friend?
Yeah, what's that?
Coin Emperor Tom Kent skin.
Oh, there you go. Why isn't he using it in this game, though?
I don't think it's on this patch.
Oh, is it not?
No, I don't think so.
Is it the next one?
I think it's the next one.
Okay.
That's the best patch, by the way.
Why? Because of the skin?
Yeah.
I see. I don't play Tom Kent, so I know you do, but...
Heathen. All right,
you know.
So Ghost, it is his PC.
Seemed like it froze, so...
And this was actually looking like it was going to be the end game push.
Yeah.
So really unfortunate timing right here.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, SANDBOX, they're going to be a little bit unhappy that they couldn't just end the game right now as everybody's coming on in and trying to fix the computer. Count the refs, guys. We got 7 of them. Just riot things.
7 referees.
Although the guy with the long sleeve shirt doesn't. Well, I guess they're all wearing long sleeve shirts. The gray shirt. He is. He doesn't look like a ref. He seems like he's one step above. Not sure. This guy came for the first time to see Cloud Templar. And also his friend on the right. His first time coming on down.
Nice Hanwha Life jersey there.
Yeah. They are probably Hanwha Life employees. Actually,
really?
Hanwha Life does have a lot of employees that do come down and watch the games.
Oh.
And support the team.
It's always nice to know.
Yeah, it's pretty good. More fan signs would be.
Did you ever like a SANDBOX as a kid?
Yeah, I used to like it a lot.
I never had one. Any playground I ever went to.
Really?
Yeah, it was so weird.
It didn't have any sand?
There was just no sandboxes.
You're from
I'm from Rhode Island.
Yeah.
From the Northeast.
Aren't there like a lot of beaches and sand and that kind of thing? You're on the coast.
Yeah, I mean there's beaches. I mean, yeah, there's beaches. That's not a sandbox.
Oh. This is like a big sandbox. I guess there's no box. There's no box. Sand ocean.
Yes.
As SANDBOX want to make their own sand ocean of the LCK. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well. And apparently the game is going to be resumed soon.
Yeah. As Ghost seems enthralled by the screen. I'm sure he's going to get back in. Probably just a quick restart and you get right back in. As okay, looks like we're just about ready to hop back in. 1 second, there you go. As once again, Joker gets hit by that, and oh boy, Zoe is beginning to do damage. You got to be real careful about that. You don't want to lose your AP burst mid Galio, as he is nowadays, to a bunch of Zoe damage. Oh god, Joker.
He's trying to become a model in his next life.
Third time's the charm.
And right now, Mountain and Baron both coming up in just under 2 minutes each.
Ooh.
Maybe SANDBOX doesn't want to push the issue. They might just want to get to the Baron. And I'll tell you what, if Hanwha Life can hold on for another 5-6 minutes, Ezreal complete that next core item, Zoe complete the next item, Olaf complete the next item, get that Knight's Vow, get the Solari's Locket on Thomas Kench, then they have a real, actual possibility of turning this game around. Because if SANDBOX's next Baron is neutralized, or if Hanwha gets it, SANDBOX is actually just behind. The only reason they're ahead right now is because they're in the driver's seat, they're going to have first action to Baron and Mountain, and we're assuming that unless something goes catastrophically wrong, they should get it.
Definitely feels that way right now. Red buff onto Sangyun. Will have it for the Baron fight, if there is one. But it looks like our Dragon timer has stopped. As
he doesn't want to come up.
Okay, there it is. 24 seconds. But now we don't know it's Mountain Drake.
Oh, maybe the dragon was
Maybe
wrong.
the dragon changed.
Yeah, maybe it decided that it didn't want to be a mountain.
Yeah.
Maybe it just wanted... that's not even possible, though, because there's already been 3 unique drakes.
Huh.
I think it's lying to us.
Maybe.
I'm being lied to right now.
It's, you know, it's something we do for all the newcasters here. Looking to push now, actually, is SANDBOX. As 5. They were doing the 4-1 here, but no, just going to back off. Maybe thinking about that. Mountain, there is vision on it now. Could try to get some kind of steal, but no ultimate here for Ezreal means probably not going to go for it.
I like what they're doing. They're getting the Mountain first, and now with double Mountain Drake, and at this stage of the game, you can easily just have Lucian and Lee Sin light up the Baron.
Yeah.
Just like what we saw before, except this time it doesn't even have to be a sneak. You can let them blue trinket you, don't even kill them, just watch as the Baron dies. Lee and Lucian can easily light that up.
Yeah. Just give them a little Baron show, you know. Get some entertainment going for them. As double Guardian Angel is also going to be really hard to break through in general. You're going to have to kill just about 6 people in total if 2 of them come back with half health. As they're going to check it and deny Onfleek is back. Yeah. He has that Seraph's completed, so now the ult is just chunking people for a lot.
And fortunately for Onfleek, able to just go back to full HP. It has the double Ocean, use the Smite as well. And the scary thing here is still the level gap between everyone. That's not just levels, it's skill points and base HP.
Here comes Summit going straight at them and trying to go for the flank. Here's Rakan into the back line, gets 2 of them, but insta-cleanse for both of them, gets them to safety. As now Urgot is going to be devoured, going in for the kill. He's going to get it onto Mujin. And now we're playing on opposite sides of the rift as Ghost is on the chase. Big damage from him. And the Zoe, but there's the taunt. Comes out a Dove as he is able to capitalize on that kill. Summit actually has a skew. Totally dodged, but you can't dodge that ultimate as everybody is going to be going down here. Songyu, the only one left alive, but not anymore. Goes down, clean ace as SANDBOX Gaming looking to end the game.
Yeah, and they're just choosing so decisive. They cast the teleport on that top minion wave, and they're going to definitely be able to end the game. 2 Mountain Drakes, all the other team members barreling down mid. This is definitely going to be the end.
Yeah. That's going to do it. I thought this was going to be a bit closer of a series. I mean, Hanwha Life, they nearly took a game off of Griffin, but this says a lot about SANDBOX that they're able to show up today, defeat 2 different rosters in relatively easy fashion, too. They made it look really, really easy on the Rift tonight. The 2-0 victory, well-deserved, going to SANDBOX, who are now 4-0 in series here in the LCK. Another big team from Challenger to look out for.
Yeah, and it's really just hyping up when they collide with the current kings of LCK. We'll see what ends up happening in that match. And it's very interesting that both games tonight sort of panned out the same way. Very explosive team fight, immediately resulting in the end of the game, basically.
Yeah.
Although you could argue that they failed to get the 2 inhibitors, and then there was a little bit of posturing, and it almost looked like Hanwha Life was going to be able to recover. But again, all the eggs were in the Songyun basket, and it couldn't quite pull through.
Yeah, I was kind of sad for Tempt. I feel like you were mentioning it before. When you come in, you're subbed in on match point. All that pressure is there on top of you, and he just got handled by Lee Sin, essentially, on Fleek, just coming in the mid lane and saying, no, you're not going to live. Gets 2 kills, quick and easy, gets the Galio online, opens up that lane. And the Zoe was, you know, she was doing some nice paddle stars at the end of the game, but it felt like too little too late.
Definitely one of the main points for why the game started flipping on its head. On Fleek, I'm expecting would get the MVP for that game. He got the stuff, he got the ball rolling early on. He helped out with the Galio, and then he made some pretty good plays later on as well, so I'd be very surprised if anyone else ends up getting it.
On Fleek with 2 MVPs so far, both of them on Camille, so he'd be able to pick up one on a new champion, and I'm sure you'd feel quite happy about that one, as it's all smiles on the side of SANDBOX Gaming. I mean, I talk about this every single time SANDBOX come out, but a lot of people had them rate him down towards the bottom, 9th or 10th. I think I rated them 9th. You know, I didn't see a lot of people shouting their name and, you know, touting them as one of the big teams here in the LCK, but they come in here and they defeat multiple strong teams. Of course, they do have to face off against W2D4 Gaming and Griffin next week. So that's the real test for pretty much any team. They need to go into next week and get some work done, even if it means a couple of games and you lose. Just put on a good show and prove that you're one of the better teams here in the LCK, as they already have.
Really looking forward to that. Also looking forward to seeing if the meta does end up changing as we move into 9.2 soon.
Yeah. We don't know if it's going to be next week or the week after, so.
Right.
My initial feeling is the week after, just because, you know, it just came out, and generally they allow for like a week and a half, maybe a little bit extra, for that patch to come onto the tournament server, so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, it could be for next week, which would be really interesting, because the first match for next week is W2D4 versus SANDBOX. So make sure you guys are tuning in next week. Should be a lot of fun.
Imagine if Silas, or Silas, I don't know how to say it actually.
Silas?
Is
maybe?
it Silas?
I think it's Silas.
Probably
I watched the Champion Spotlight, so I think I originally thought it was Silas, so if you said it was Silas, then
in
I
Korean,
think I would have noticed
it's Silas, so you're stuck with that.
Yeah.
All right, so that's how it is, Kajix. All right, so
Silas and Joey.
Yep.
Best friends forever.
So it would be interesting if he's enabled.
Yeah.
That could add for some potentially exciting things. Although I haven't seen him at all.
Yeah.
So, since he's come live.
I searched for him on the patch. We're on 9.2 on solo queue, right?
We're in 9.2 in solo queue, but this patch was very lackluster. So not too many meta changes, except Galio's kicked out. Highlights coming in here. So SANDBOX, they started off this game really, really poorly. Summit here, he didn't know where to run, right into the belly of Thomas Kench. And then right here you could see Key didn't want to push the issue any further despite having heal and stuff available. Maybe fearing he would get dumpstered by the Lucian and Rakan. Right here on Fleek, able to get that initial kill onto Temp, and then a follow-up one. I think Temp hates this bush. There's something about the left side bush. On Fleek was just able to sneak in there, make stuff happen. And then right here, Negan on Glenn action. I really did not think that would kill, but okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, just Darius things, you know, we were wondering why go for the Darius. There were a lot of top bans. He landed on Darius, and it ended up doing work towards the later game. Even after that unfortunate first blood did go the way of Hanwha Life.
And this actually highlight looked like Hanwha Life was going to potentially be able to stabilize. They had just picked off Joker up in top lane, and they were starting to approach the stage of the game where SANDBOX's team composition it ran out of gas. And so the only thing that was keeping them in the game is they had those Mountain Dragons. They had the priority to the next Mountain Drake in addition to the Baron, and they had all the turrets opened up. And this last fight, there was only so much that Hanwha Life could do. They were running to the wrong base. So
yeah,
take a look at the damage chart. And that tells the story of the team compositions as well. Ghost, though, doing a fantastic job yet again.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like very high numbers across the board, but keep in mind that there really wasn't too much action in this game for the beginning of it. We only had 10 kills. Oh, welcome back.
Welcome back.
You're sitting a little bit close to me.
I don't have my glasses today. You know, I can't. All right. I gotta be close to the screen.
Yeah. Well, we are gonna take a look at the MVP here in just a moment. As would like to think it's on Fleek. I mean, he did have a really fantastic game of Lee Sin. Would have been cooler if he got the kick into the Galio knockup on the second kill onto Zoe. He was just a little bit, you know, fast on the trigger for that one.
Only sloppy thing, I think, actually, that was very noticeable, at least. I mean, he still got the kill anyway, so.
Had to burn his flash, which is kind of annoying, but still got the kill, as you mentioned. And it is going to be on Fleek this time onto Lee Sin, as he does pick up a third MVP. And you guys can once again see why he's pretty clean on this pick.
I think that it was a deserving performance, an MVP award that I can certainly agree with. So, just seeing the kills there, and that was it. I mean, he did a lot in game number 2. Yeah,
he was definitely one of the key reasons why they won that game. I mean, if Zoe is online in that one, you have Sangyun and Zoe doing some insane damage. We already saw what Zoe was doing even after dying twice, which was some pretty insane damage. So, nicely done. Definitely a bit of a jungle difference in that one. I'm a little bit disappointed that Mujin wasn't able to have a more just impactful experience here in his first game, but either way, guys, we're going to jump into the interview. I'll hand it over to Jisun for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jisun with today's last interview translation, and we're going to be joined by Ghost and Onflick from SANDBOX Gaming. Once again, it's Ghost and Onflick on the interview stage. And congratulations on the win. I expected a bit more closer game, but there weren't a lot of fights during the game, so it was an easy win, I guess. I mean, it was easier than I expected. And also, our head coach is having his birthday, so I hope this can be his birthday present. Congratulations to my coach also. And on Fleek, how do you feel right now? I feel the same. I expected something more from Hanwha, a little bit more of a fights or a lot of fight backs and punches, but they were trying some kind of more like macro style play. So I think I smoothly won the game. Ghost, you are facing a lot of ex-BBQ players, Bono and Tempt. It is my first experience to face my former teammates, so I had a lot of feelings coming to my head. but I won and I'm really happy. Ghost, you are picking up consecutive MVP points nowadays. What is your favorite nickname?
아무래도 성령이 가장 좀
The Ghost, maybe?
많이 불리고 좀 듣기도 괜찮은 것 같아서
I mean, it sounds kind of cool.
마음에 듭니다.
네, 오늘
I like it.
공식 성령자로 가도록 하겠습니다. 자, 고스트 선수 작년 대비 정말
Ghost,
많이 달라진 모습입니다. 팬분들이
you
많이
stepped up a lot,
놀랐어요.
and
도대체
fans are
고스트에게 무슨 일이
amazed by your
있었던 것인가?
improvement.
이 변화의 계기를 여쭤봐도 될까요?
How are you able to pull that off so
일단
well?
저는 제 실력도 실력인데 저는 일단 자신감이 붙은 게 좀
Well,
많이
the key point
실력의
was that I
영향이
gained more
생각하고
confidence.
지금 그 자신감이 점점 확신이 되면서 실력으로
Now I have
올라오고
more
있는 것
confidence.
같아요.
네,
My mechanics are getting
옴플릭
better and
선수가
better.
보시기에는 고스트 선수가 자신감이 확실히 많이
Conflict, do you agree with him? Is he feeling more confident?
네, 알겠습니다.
Yes, I
고스트
do.
선수의 자신감 어디까지 올라갈지 더욱 지켜보는 재미도 있을 것 같습니다. 1, 2경기 뱀픽률 100%인 루시안 픽으로
So,
대활약을
you locked in
했습니다.
Lucian
상대가 모두
and pulling a
열어줬을
great
때
performance.
이거다 생각을 하셨죠?
네, 이게 저희가 지금까지 안 한 좀 OP 챔피언들이나
Well,
밴하고
well,
한 챔피언들이 좀
There are a lot of
있는데
OP champions
저희가 못해서
currently
안 하는 게 아니거든요.
that we haven't
그래서
played yet.
이번에는
It's not that we cannot
좀
play it.
보여줄
It was
의향도 있었고
usually
좀
banned,
구도가
so
좋게
I was really
나와서
happy
네,
to get the
선택해서
opportunity
사용했어요.
to play Lucian today.
알겠습니다. 자, 두 번째 경기 넘어가기 전에 오늘 좋은 활약 보여준 바텀 듀오 얘기를
Then
좀
before
해보고
moving
싶어요.
on to
저희
game
캡쟁님이
number
뒤에서, 이
we wanna talk about the
듀오에게
bot
뭔가
duo.
별명을 붙여주고 싶다
And
하셔서
especially
성령,
Captain Jack said
최고령 해서 투령,
that he wanna
쌍령
give a
항상
new nickname for
이런
your bot
말씀을 해주실
duos.
정도로 아주 호흡이 좋았습니다. 자, 조커 선수가
You and Joker
1경기에서 운
are
좋게
showing
정화를
great
쓰고 아주
teamwork.
스킬이 빨리 상대 스킬이 빨리 풀려서 살아나가는 장면이 있었는데요. 많이 좋아하셨나요?
Especially
아, 네,
he managed to
그때
survive
그거
during team
하고
fights
이제 저희가
when he was
3시까지 잡고
really
이제
close to dying.
자랑을 하더라고요. 조커 형이 자기 방패 반응 속도 봤냐고.
Joker was
엄청났다고
actually
그러면서.
like
네,
telling me
저도
like, did
기억이
you
안
see my
나가지고,
response
그래?
speed?
대단한데 이러고.
네, 이 장면이었습니다. 방패도 바로 나왔고요.
That showed.
네, 이 장면이 아주 좋은
So this
호흡으로
can be one of the
연결이
highlights
됐던
from game 1.
상황이었습니다. 자, 이제 이 경기 얘기로 들어가
let's move
볼게요.
on to game number
상체
2.
3인이 모두 교체가 됐습니다. 상대가 예상을 하셨나요?
They have
저는
three
예상
players subbing in. Did you expect that?
특히 무진 선수가
Not at all.
나왔는데
네.
어떻게
Especially
조금
Mujin subbed in
당황하셨는지.
jungle.
FW 팀에 있으셨을 때 정말 위세가 엄청나서
I mean, he was
좀
really
긴장이 되긴
strong at
했는데
Flash Wolves,
그냥
so I was a
저는
little
제
bit
할 거만
worried.
하면
But
뭐
at the same
되겠지라는
time, I thought that
마인드로
if I just focus doing my
네,
role,
미신으로 정말
I
좋은
wouldn't be
모습
too worried.
보여주셨습니다. 저희 영상 보면서 얘기를 나눠볼게요. 정말 명장면이었죠.
There were a lot of
상대의
highlights, so
심리를
let's go
이용해서
through it.
부시에 숨어있는 장면이었습니다. 이 상황 설명 좀 해주세요.
What's going on over there?
저희가 보통 라인을 밀고 저희가
Well, Zoe,
아래 타워를 밀었기 때문에 아마
she was pushing minion
링무빙을
waves,
치지
so
않을까 싶어서
and we
거기서
were
제어와드도
at the
있고
other
해서
lane,
대기를
so
해봤는데
I thought that she
운이
might
좋았던 것
come to the upper bush, so I was camping there and I was lucky to face her.
돌리는 모습이었습니다. 또 미드 포탑 다이브도 있었고요.
And the dive
여러 가지
play
좋은
in the
상황들이
mid
많이
turret was
있었는데,
also
리신
working out
챔피언에
fine.
대해서 숙련도가 높으신 편인 거죠?
Are you
네,
confident
제가 원래
with your
아마추어
Lee Sin
시절은
play?
거의 원챔 수준으로
I was more
리신을
like a
많이
Lee Sin one
사용했기
trick
때문에
during when I was
자신이
amateur
있습니다.
player,
네,
so
오늘
I have
선수의
huge
리신이 다음
confidence.
경기에도 나오길 기대를 해보겠습니다. 중계진들의 칭찬이 정말
And the
자자합니다.
casters
샌드박스 게임이 합이 정말
are
잘
really
맞는다는
hyped
평이
about
있는데요.
SANDBOX gaming,
원래
especially your
호흡이
teamwork and
좋으신가요?
synergy.
네, 사석에서도 옴플릭 선수.
Are you guys really close with each other in the real life?
거의 친한 친구 사이 정도의 분위기라서
Yeah, we're more like close
시너지가
friends,
나서
not like
합이 잘 맞는 것
teammates.
네, 고스트
I
선수는
think that's why we're
누구와 가장
performing so well
친하세요?
as a team.
저는
Who's your best friend, Ghost,
옴플릭 형이랑도
in your
친하고
team?
두부 형이랑도 친하고 저희는 팀원끼리 모두 다 친해서
I
그래서
mean,
잘하는
on Flick
것
Dove,
같아요.
I think
네,
we're all
그
close with each other
팀원들의
evenly.
친한 그 모습이 이렇게 경기력으로도 나오는 것 같습니다. 자, 샌드박스 게이밍 다음 경기가 승격
And your
동기인
upcoming series will be
담원과의
against Tamon
대결입니다. 담원 요즘에 정말 좋은 모습 보여주고 있잖아요.
They are
어떻게
also
생각하시는지
performing so
각오
well.
말씀 부탁드릴게요. 네,
일단 담원전이
Tamon
좀
game must be,
오늘처럼 좀 빡센 오늘보다 좀 빡센 경기가
or
예상이
must be
되는데,
harder than today,
네,
maybe.
좀 준비 더 열심히 하고
So we
뱀픽도
better
열심히
prepare
준비해서
harder and come with
한번
better draft.
저희가 꺾고 2위 계속 유지하도록
And I want to keep
노력하겠습니다.
this second
네,
place
알겠습니다.
going.
자, 옴플릭 선수는요?
제가 이제 텔코 시절에 담원을
When I was at
만나서
Challengers Korea,
한번 꺾은 기억이 있는데 그
I
기억을
actually
되살려서
took
한번
them
더
down.
이기고 2등
so I want to make it happen once again
유지하도록 하겠습니다.
next time.
네, 이렇게
And I wanna
말씀은 조곤조곤
stay in
해주시는데
second place
또
in
어떤
LCK.
화려한 경기력을 보여주실지 벌써부터
We'll be looking
무섭기도
forward to see your
합니다.
performance
네,
in your
오늘
upcoming
인터뷰
series,
감사합니다.
and this will be the end of the
고스트
interview
선수.
with Ghost and Onflick from SANDBOX Gaming. I'm gonna
네,
pass it back to our
인터뷰는
casters.
여기서
Thank
마치고요.
you.
중계석 연결할게요.
Thank you, Ji-sun, for the translation, as always. Good stuff to hear from both of those players. I like how Ghost's nickname is The Ghost. It's some good stuff, really creative stuff. I mean, you know, he has his ID Ghost, but then they use the Korean word for The Ghost. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, he's definitely getting a lot better.
A really sick ID, by the way. Yeah. I'm just going to point that out. Some IDs are really not so good. Ghost is a good ID.
Yeah.
It's very original.
My favorite is Lesnek. So SANDBOX here is 4-0. They're not exactly tied with Griffin, though, because they did take the one loss against SKT, but it raises the question. I mean, Griffin seems to be the best team, but who's second best? We don't really know yet. It might not be SKT. SANDBOX already took them out. Is it Dom1 Gaming? We still need to wait for round 1 to end and find that out. Can Kingzone or Hanwha Life make a big streak and try to make it up towards the top? Right now, though, based on the games that I've played, or watched, rather, not based on my games, no relation or correlation at all. But based on what we've seen so far, it definitely feels like SANDBOX is at least on Dom1's level. We'll have to wait and see what happens next week. Next week is the big telling week where a lot of these top teams are going to face off against each other. It's kind of the highlight week of round 1 for sure. I mean, we're going to have Dom1 versus SANDBOX, then Griffin versus SKT. Then Kingzone versus Dom1, also good. We got Griffin versus SANDBOX on Saturday. You and I will be returning for that one. And yeah, definitely a lot of big teams are playing. This is the matchup tomorrow. SKT versus Dom1. You're going to be here with Atlas.
I will be here with Atlas.
Interesting duo.
Yep, it's going to be the first time.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that ends up panning out for tomorrow's matches. SKT versus Dom1, and then Jin Air versus Gen G. So don't look at me like that. I know what you're thinking.
You know, Jin Air is definitely one of those teams where you kind of just feel unfortunate every time you watch them because they have a bunch of good guys, you know, very friendly team, but just like nothing is going right for them. And kind of similar for Gen G. We'll have to see which one of those teams is going to turn it around tomorrow. But it was very fun to catch with you, LS. I hope you enjoyed coming here. Any last words quickly?
No, I'm just glad to be back, and I'm looking forward to 2019 Spring Split.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that too. We'll see you guys next time. Good night.